my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. It is Block Wednesday, and at the end I have a quilt parade, so you want to stay till then. We have block number 8. Remember, this is a bit longer quilt along. It was one of my first that I did, and I kind of stretched them out a little bit longer, so there's 25 blocks. So we're going to have fun with this for a while, and you all are having so much fun. You're doing fabulous. I love your stories. So we have the apron. So many people have fond memories of Grandma and her apron. My granny worked as at a meat packing company, and she actually did kind of forward-facing public job of working the farmer's market. So she was the person behind the counter. She took the orders and cut your meat at the farmer's markets. And then she also worked to prepare all the pre-cut things for those farmers markets. So that is one of the things that she did, and she always had an apron at work. So and my other grandma didn't wear an apron. And Granny didn't really wear one at home. It was a work thing, but I do have memories of that. So I would love to hear, because I know some of you have some really, really strong, wonderful memories. This is an applique block because, you know, aprons are going to be so much prettier as an applique. So for those of you that you're new to applique, you will have a lot of fun learning something a little bit new. And then I did a bonus inspiration layout with multiple little blocks, and then a checkerboard in between. Now remember, there are no supply lists for these bonuses. They're just an inspiration for you if you want to try to do a full quilt. You'll have to draft your own supply list. I don't do that for free patterns, because I would have to do 25 additional patterns. I think I mentioned this the other day, but for some reason people keep writing me and asking me for a supply list, and no, I don't do it for these. Okay, I want to show you a couple aprons, because my aprons that I own are all gifts. Isn't that fun? I have made aprons and off and on, and purchased aprons off and on, but right now the 4 that I have, and I have 4, were all gifts. So this is 2 of them are not made by somebody, they're purchased. But look at this, so pretty. I love it. I love it, love it. Feels very Scandinavian. Reminds me of when we lived in Europe. By the way, my mom did not wear an apron either. I don't come from a family of apron wearers. And this is from my friend Jane in Australia, right? For the koala bears. Then I have 2 that were made for me by friends here in our communities quite a few years ago now. This is one with camera fabric. So cute. It's got kind of a cute crossover, and then the camera fabric in a big, that was a print I think that came with the camera fabrics. So isn't that darling? And it has binding on the edge. And then the other one was also a gift, a little bit different style. It has this super cute little neckline on it. Isn't that darling? And the coffee fabric, oh my gosh. Plus it's double-sided with the red on the back. I guess I could wear it on the back, except for this cute little part would be, you know, it's not duplicated on the back, and the pockets aren't, but yeah, there's a big pockets here. Isn't that sweet? So nice. I just adore them, and I do wear them occasionally. usually when baking, because, you know, baking gets kind of messy. So let's look at my fabric options, because on the wall where this goes on the layout, we're on block 8, so it's in the row number 2. See, there's block 8, row number 2. And that's that space next to on the far side, right there, goes right there. Okay, what do I have? I pulled some fabric because I think I want a red apron, you know. And then the line has this Laguna Sunrise. It has a white on white, so I think the white on white would be best. For the background, just to have no competition with the fabrics that I pick. I think it's just a nice clean background for this applique, and it also fits well color wise to have some white there. So I think I'll use this red because there's other reds around it that are different red prints, and so I'll use this one. Plus the apron is just not that big, so I don't want one of the bigger prints, I don't think. Then I'm thinking a green apron. Now this green I've used quite a bit, and I have quite a bit of it, so I can repeat it a lot, and it's not very big. There's also a little heart, if you choose to do it, right in the center of the apron. So if I do that, I would probably make the heart red. I also could do the stripe. I'm thinking the stripe though, even though this piece is much bigger than it would be, and I would break it up with a heart, I think I like this green better. There is a little waistband, so I'll do that with gray. Just put a little gray waistband on there to do that. Then the border, I'm going to use peach because I want to bring a little bit more peach in. So I'll use the peach, and then I'll either use this green as the four corners. There's 4 corners on the block, see? You don't have to. You could draft your own and not use 4 corners, but I'm using the 4 corners. Or I could do the stripe in the 4 corners, which I kind of like that. I kind of like putting the stripe here. And then what I'll do is I'll see how big is that heart. That heart is not super big, and I might try to fussy cut it out of this where there's spacing. Or I could just use this for the heart where it's not got the other. I don't want the flowers because they won't all fit. So I think I'm thinking here. I think this would be better for the heart. This is one of the smaller blocks. So it finishes at 10 by 10. So the background is only like 7 inches finished. So it's not very big and gets covered up a lot. So I think this is it. I'm just going to go with this. I will cut it all out. And as I'm cutting for the applique, I'll just give you a little tip or two. But really, if you have not done any fusible applique by machine, you can get my book on it. I've actually written 2 books. I'll give you one is out of print, but I'll link to anything I can find on Amazon for it from a reseller. And the other one I'll link is my first one, which is, I can link to the digital of it. So if you want to get a digital copy, and there I talk through all the aspects of fusible applique. I also have tutorials on my website, and I've also done it here on video many times. So just put in the search. My goodness, I got a cough going on there. So just put in the search applique for my channel, and then you'll find those videos. Also, when we did the Breakfast Club quilt along, which was, I don't know, year or 2 ago, you can go find the playlist here at YouTube and follow through there, which I also have a lot about fusible applique because that was an entire applique quilt along. Okay, I use this product because it's super dependable. The fusible doesn't tear away from or release from the paper when you don't want it to. You want to get the light. It needs to say light on there, and it's got this sort of medium purple color. There is ultra, I think, or featherweight. Featherweight is a light lavender, and then red is ultra. Do not buy the red. It's red to me, no, do not buy it. It's not made for sewing, and it tells you around the package, do not sew. Okay, so there we go. I am going to trace. I'll just trace the dress real quick and show you. So I will trace like this, and I will then be cutting away most of this fusible so that my shapes are soft. And I like to make things kind of organic. If your line is kind of wonky, you could just go back and fix it there. So here's how I trace. And then I will cut out so that I have enough around the outside to hold on to. I don't want to have just a tiny little skinny area out here because I have to have something to hold on to. I'm going to cut almost all of the middle away, and then this becomes like a little spaghetti noodle. You can, of course, bank up all your shapes so that you don't have waste. That's always a nice option if you're doing a bunch of shapes. You can draw them closer together. But remember, this is like about a ½ inch around, which is probably pretty good. Then I cut through the line. Yes, I cut through the line rather than trying to pinch it, because when you pinch it, it is a potential release point for the fusible to the paper, which is what you do not want. And then I'm cutting around, I'm trimming like 1/4 of an inch on the inside. It's just eyeballed, because when you stitch, that will go over. Think of your thread of your stitch covering this. It's like a basting line. Do not cut like 1/2 an inch or 1 inch, because then it will be flat and then poof, you know, and that's totally useless. So don't do that. Here we go. That's what I cut away, which is like a nice usable shape. I can do probably the apron out of there. I might be able to do all those other pieces out of that, plus this little bit that I cut away. And then this is the shape that I will be fusing to the dress fabric. So I will have a red dress. There we go. And I will do that. Now, I'm not going to show the rest of it because I've already shown this so many times on the channel. But I just wanted to do this part because this is the part that a lot of people have not experienced, because you'll just leave this whole, where'd it go? Yeah, you'll just leave all of this, which one is wasteful because you can actually use this, and two, it makes your shape super stiff. So this is the part that I think is kind of a miracle. You can stitch it with a blanket stitch or a straight stitch, and that works. And some people like the satin stitch, which is a lot more thread and a little bit more intense look, but you know, will also hold it down. So what's going to hold this down is your thread when you stitch it, not the fusible. Okay, I will show you the block here in a minute. Here are the shapes, the rest of the shapes traced onto the interior that I removed. I will probably cut a little bit out of this one. I know it's kind of insane, but I will probably do it anyway. And then cut these out. There's enough space here to do my 1/4 of an inch or so. It'll be a little tight on the heart, but it lets me kind of use this up. Then this is all used instead of having it on your fabric where it's wasteful. This is so cute in the orange border and the red dress. I just love it. So I went with a different heart fabric. You can see there, because the one that I had picked was the same print, but in red of the little X's there. And I don't like to put the same print one on top of the other if I don't really have to. I have lots of red fabric. So this tiny little polka dots was just perfect, little kind of micro dots. This orangey is great because it's kind of like orange sherbet color, and it's a little darker than the other peachy color in the fabric line. And it also has the red in it. So the red pulls in, and that green corners pulls in that green. So let me go put it up on the board and get the other camera. Ah, it looks good. It's strong. It pulls out, but I still have sashings and things to work with and lots of other fabrics. So I will reuse kind of a little bit stronger color like that in a few other spots so that it's not the only one. This also will have a sashing here and here. And as I've talked to many of you, I did not do my other star sets, which will go down in other rows because I don't know what the fabric is yet. So I don't want to make stars when I don't. They're kind of like fillers to me, so they will tie other colors together, and I will pick them as I get more of the fabric made. So there we go. Two more things before the parade, our block parade. This is a beautiful card from Georgia in South Dakota, and she put, that's fabric in there. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. Sweet, sweet note. And then I have from Lori in Canada, and she sent me darling card. And then she was collecting some things as she went along. And the Canadian Post had been on strike, so she wasn't able to send them right away. But here's some yummy hot chocolate. And she was in Germany and found this little baby bag of gummies for me, the German gummies. Love them, love them. And then a Starbucks card. Thank you, thank you. Mwah, mwah. You guys are so, so amazing. Now, the other thing I have is in March, I've been doing this since 2020, March 2020. So this is year number 5 of a March sew along. And the sew along is one block, and then we make one a day. So I call it March block a day, but it's the same block over and over again and repeat. And this year I went with what is normally called like a half log cabin. And I wanted to experiment with a smaller or a wider center because depending on your time, there's less logs if you do the one with the bigger center and more logs with the smaller center. And then because log cabins are so fantastic, you can do different layouts. You don't have to do a regular, so I did a side-by-side layout and then one where there was kind of boxes and looks like they're layered on top of each other. And then that is the smaller center, so it has more strips. And here is the bigger center with less strips and how that looks. So the supply lists are, I'm just going to give you one on the website. I'm just going to give you one very general amount of fabric. It's super general because you don't know, this is supposed to be scrappy. I'm not going to lay out and tell you, use 5 fabrics for the middle. No, this is not that kind of project. This is the kind of project where I want you to go into what you already own, find some things you want to sew with that are beautiful, that'll keep you motivated in March. March is my toughest month because I want spring to be here and it's not here and it's often miserable and I just need to get through it. So that's why I kind of started this in 2020. And that means using up some fabric that you really love. I will talk to you more about my fabric in another day, but this is a bundle that I have. It is called Periwinkle. There's still a little bit of periwinkle out there at the Fat Quarter Shop website. This original bundle was given to me by a friend, and they're just the fat quarters. And then I added to it. I also pulled my Gratitude and Grace, this print for the backing. So I already have backing for it now. And I will talk more about placements and things like that. Probably starting next Wednesday, I'll do that again. Because it's kind of a fun thing. You can go look on my completed projects and look at the prior ones. Often I will do a lot of different fabrics because that way I keep myself motivated. It's not boring to have I find it boring to have all the same fabrics like over and over and over again. Like I just rarely have ever made a quilt like that because it's just not my thing. But if you prefer it because it's much more structured, it's easier. You get to cut everything from the same set of fabrics. But on the website, there will be kind of a generalized, like a yard of center, X number of whatever. I didn't look it up, but X number of light, X number of dark amount. It's like a total amount. That way you have a little bit of a feel. But if you are doing it just from what you own and just kind of scrappy, then it's really fun to kind of use up some of those smaller pieces you have in your collection. And that's why I want to show you in the next few days how you can kind of build something. Mine is a little bit more controlled this time just because I have saved this fabric for several years now, like close to 3 years, maybe 2 years, and I want to use it. But I'll show you how to pull, like you say you want to do navy and white, but you want to have it a little bit more scrappy or use up what you have. So I'll do some fabric pulls like that. Okay, my friend, let's take a look now at some blocks by you and you and you.
What super sweet blocks from Adela. And she also says her grandma's phrase was, "Don't let the flies in, close the door." Love the little Valentines too. Andrea's beautiful block. Look at those colors. Love the fabrics. Love that green in the same green in the center of all the stars. So pretty. Candy's doing a patriotic set. I love it. And she's got her sashing started. Looks so good. Carol's beautiful, beautiful. She put a beautiful floral in the middle, like that kind of burgundy background. Looks so good. Christina's. This just got me. The owls. The owls. Look how sweet those owls are in the center of several of the blocks. Looks like maybe these are a few companion fabrics to that line. I've not seen that owl. Maybe I need to collect owl fabric. I just love owls. Always have. Connie's got gorgeous blue background. Isn't that wonderful? Love the polka dots and all the kitchen things for Grandma's kitchen. Perfect. Diana's beautiful yellow. Look at that. Each one's different with a different center. If you're wondering how that would look, there she is, all scrappy and delightful. Helen's really got it rocking here. She's using her African prints. They are just amazing. Holy cow. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Jones, oh, this is so cool. I love the 4-block one, that sort of scallop fabric. I have that fabric. It is such a great fabric. It does, look how cool that looks. I've used it in so many different places. It's a much older line, unless it came out again, but the pieces I have were from a while ago. I love seeing it here. It looks super good. Karen's beautiful green gingham, and she did all her stars exactly the same, and so the same fabrics. They look fantastic. That background is very cool as well. Kellyanne's got the coffee fabrics. Oh, this is so fun. I loved themed things. Give me a theme. Give me a good theme, my girl. Give me a good theme. It looks awesome. Let's see, we've got the first Linda. Some black and white here and some red tossed in. This is looking so good. Wow, 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 wow. And Linda number 2, beautiful. Look at the roses. Each of hers is a different color and it's coordinated. Like her center is a different fabric than the points, but it's coordinated. And the backgrounds are all different as well. So if you're wondering how that would look, there Linda has done it for you. Lisa's super cute dogs. Oh my goodness. And then here's all hers together. So she also did a family portrait. Look at this with the little Christmas doggies. I am just enjoying this immensely, your blocks. The quilt's going to be so cute. Mary's beautiful, beautiful yellows and purples and blues. Looking good. Michelle's darling center fabric. That's a print that is like a scatter print. So those I've seen, I remember that fabric, and it's so pretty. It's got little buttons and Americana feel. All right, we're going to go to Priscilla's. Look at all her stars. Love them all. Just some different backgrounds for some of them, and they all have a nice yellow pop in the center. Sandy's is looking good, very 30s feel, wonderful, so pretty. Sharon's got a gorgeous set of fabrics, and they're all just a little bit different, and they coordinate so well together. You're doing a fantastic job. Sheila's, so look at the little sewing items in the middle of each star. Oh my goodness, I love that so much. Very, very cute. See, we have a few more. Susan's. Now, she also has a lot of fun novelty prints. There is a greenhouse in the one big center. There's roosters. What fun. Look, corn in her stars at the bottom. That is so good. Love it. And Vera's, oh, look at the honey fabrics and the little bees. Super cute. I might have some of that bee fabric. I'm not sure, but it looks kind of familiar. Let's see, we have Teresa's. Now I wrote down here that these are her, this is her grandma's dresser and Roseville pottery. So those of you who collect pottery will recognize the Roseville pottery. That is just beautiful. Okay, we have a couple more here. This is Michelle's. I love this. That background fabric is so intriguing. I'm trying to figure out, it's like a fan. It is very cool, very effective. And here is Laura, and she did multiples of the blocks. So she took 2 of the blocks and repeated for a full quilt. So you can see how combining 2 blocks just side by side looks so fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Here's mine again. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your block 7. Oh, my stars. And go to the website and see a lot more.
It is inspirational to see your blocks and all the different colors and the family grouping so we can see how everything's coming together. It's just such variety. Remember to go visit my friend Kendall at his YouTube channel. It is linked below in the description box and at my website today, also at the project page. So here's my grandma's apron again, thinking of my granny and her work aprons, because that's the only aprons that were around. Can't wait to hear your stories with your block. I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.